Hi students, so let's start General Studies Practice Questions Part 5 for UPSC. The first question is, does freedom of speech and expression have reasonable restrictions under Article 19 Clause 2? So, yes, freedom of speech and expression do have some restrictions. Imagine a government scientist. So he is not expected to reveal the information to others. And same in case of the army personnel, and the same thing is applied even to the police personals. So the freedom of speech and expression have reasonable restrictions under Article 19 Clause 2. So it is restricted for the sovereignty and integrity of India. It is restricted for the security of the state. It is restricted to maintain public order, to maintain decency or morality, and to protect from defamation or incitement to an offense, and to maintain friendly relations with foreign states. So for all these reasons, under Article 19 Clause 2, the freedom of speech and expression has been restricted. Now the second question is, who is the highest law officer of the country? So the Attorney General is the highest law officer of the country, and he is appointed by the President, and the remuneration of him is also determined by the President, and the Attorney General has right to speak and also take part in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and also in joint sittings, and also in any committee of the Parliament. So he has the right to speak and take part in both the houses of the Parliament. And third question is, does the following provisions can be amended by Article 368? So the first thing is citizenship, and the second one is abolition or creation of legislative councils of the state. So Article 368 states that the constitution can be amended, but it also have some restrictions. So under Article 368, the citizenship and abolition or creation of legislative councils of state, these both cannot be amended under Article 368, whereas the fundamental rights and directive principles of the state policy can be amended. Now, fourth question, can a person still be Indian citizen after naturalization and being imprisoned for 2 years in the country? So if I am a foreigner who came to India, stayed in India for 5 years, became Indian citizen through naturalization, that is legally registering as an Indian citizen, and next immediately after the next 2 years I was imprisoned. So if it is like that situation, then the citizenship will be automatically terminated. Is that clear? So a person in that situation cannot become an Indian citizen. So there are actually 3 ways to lose citizenship. One is by renunciation, so declaring officially to renounce citizenship, and the other is by termination. So if a person voluntarily acquires another foreign citizenship, then automatically his citizenship in India will be cancelled. And the third one is by deprivation. So if a citizen obtains citizenship status by fraud, then it will be automatically taken away. So these are the 3 ways, reasons for which citizenship can be lost. Now the fifth question is, what amendment was done in 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act with respect to Article 74 Clause 1? So here there shall be a council of ministers with the Prime Minister, that is headed by Prime Minister, to aid and advise President, who shall act in according to such advice. So this is Article 74 Clause 1, which is amended by 42nd Second Constitutional Amendment Act. The sixth one is, what is 61st Constitutional Amendment Act? So the 61st Constitutional Amendment Act is related to the minimum age of voting, which is reduced to 18 years. So before it was 21 and then it was reduced to 18 years under 61st Constitutional Amendment Act. Now the seventh question is, what amendment was done in Constitution under first schedule related to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes? So here under first schedule, Article 15 clause 4 is amended. So it states that the state can make special provisions for the advancement of socially and educationally backward classes and citizens of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. So special provisions were given to the weaker sections of the society under Article 15 clause 4. And this is first Constitutional Amendment Act, which is related to SCs and STs. Eighth question is, who controls the entire financial system of the country? So it is the Comptroller and Auditor General of the country. Article 148 deals with the CAG, and he is the head of the Indian Audit and Accounts Department. So his tenure is 6 years or 65, whichever is early, and no minister can represent CAG, or no minister will have the power to take responsibility of the CAG. So he is the head, the supreme of the Indian Audit and Accounts Department. And ninth question, which article restricts the fundamental rights to armed forces, police forces, intelligence agencies, etc.? So it is Article 33 of the Constitution. So under this only, Army Act 1950, Navy Act 1950, Police Forces Act 1966, Border Security Force Act, etc., all these were enacted. So Article 33 restricts the fundamental rights to armed forces, police forces, intelligence agencies, etc. 10th question, which writ is issued to both private and public individuals? So the correct answer is Habeas corpus, whereas Mandamus, Prohibition, Certiorari will be, these are, the last three are issued only to public individuals. 11th question is, does Advocate General have minimum age limit? So the answer is no. So the Advocate General of the state is the highest law officer of the state, and he is appointed by the president, and his remuneration is also determined by the president. And to be the Advocate General of the state, first he must qualify to be appointed as the judge of the High Court. Then only it is the eligibility status of the Advocate General of the state. And coming to the next question, 12th, when emergency is enacted in the country, all state governments come under the control of central government. So there is a change from federal structure to unitary form of government. Here, federal structure means having state and central governments, and unitary means both. Unitary means there is only one central government. So there is a change from, during emergency, there is a change from federal structure to unitary form of government. From which constitution is such action adopted? So actually, it is not adopted from any constitution. So it is not borrowed. But during emergency, the suspension of fundamental rights during emergency was adopted from German constitution. Okay, but during emergency, changing a federal structure into unitary form of government is not borrowed from any constitution. It is a unique one which is followed in India. Now coming to the 13th question, under which Constitutional Amendment Act does the words secular and socialist were added in the preamble? So it is under 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So the secular and socialist acts were words were added in the preamble under 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. Now coming to the 14th question, under which Constitutional Amendment Act does the right to property was abolished as fundamental right? So it is under Article 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. So this right to property was amended and introduced as Article 300A, and this right to property was abolished as fundamental right and became a legal right under 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. Next, 15th question, who was the viceroy during Indian Council Act 1861? So the viceroy was Lord Cannon. So that's all for today. So thank you for watching.